I just found out that my brother has been perving on my wife. I'm in a state of utter turmoil right now. Since lockdown began, my brother has been staying with us. His university shut down, and he had nowhere else to go. Our parents had just sold their house and moved into a one-bedroom apartment, and our sister lives far away in a different part of the country. He was an oops baby, which explains the significant age gap between us. My wife and I have a spacious 5-bedroom home, and since we don't have children yet, we plan to adopt 2 in our 40s. We let him stay. My brother has always been a bit of an odd one. He's a loner and mostly only has friends in his online group. He's a shy, geeky kid, but once you got to know him, he seemed okay. Or so I thought. A few nights ago, something truly dreadful happened. My wife and I usually go to bed early. In the middle of the night, I woke up and walked to the fridge. As I passed by the dining room, I saw my brother working on something. When I got closer, I was horrified to see a highly compromising picture of my wife, a cleavage shot while she was gardening. He noticed me and quickly closed the window as if he was caught watching porn. I was so shocked that I couldn't even speak. He just gave an awkward smile and rushed to his room with his laptop. When I came to my senses and realized something was terribly wrong, I knew I had to get to the bottom of it. The next day, I asked my brother to go pick up some groceries and lunch. While he was out, I entered his room for the first time since he moved in. What I saw was sickening. There were a couple of my wife's bras and panties, and I could only assume the worst, that he had used them for his perverted pleasure. I took his laptop. I knew his password because I had borrowed his Crunchyroll account to watch an anime my friend recommended. I don't usually watch anime. When I opened the laptop, I discovered some of the most revolting things. There were pictures of my wife in a towel, working out, in all kinds of compromising positions, all seemingly taken without her consent. The bastard even kept a log of every time he pleasured himself while looking at my wife's pictures. And the creepiest part was that he sometimes eavesdropped on us when we were having sex. My wife can be a bit loud, but we never expected it to be a problem since his bedroom was in a different part of the house. I left his room feeling like I needed to scrub myself clean. It was so disgusting. Now, I'm completely lost. Every time I see him, I have to fight the urge to beat him senseless. I haven't told my wife yet because I know she'll be deeply violated and disgusted. I want to find the best solution before I break the news to her. I desperately want to kick him out, but he has no other place to go. And if I do, what do I tell our parents? The truth would probably shatter our family. I do plan to tell my wife soon, but I'm certain she'll want nothing to do with him and might even avoid visiting the family if he's around. The next day, I finally told my wife. Needless to say, she took it extremely hard. She said she felt violated and unsafe in her own home. You see, we've been together for almost 15 years, and we watched this kid grow up. We took him to the movies, to the beach. We even joked with our parents that he was our practice baby. My wife has always had a hard time trusting people because many in her past have let her down. Imagine how hurt and betrayed she felt when someone she trusted and loved so dearly did this to her. Honestly, if I hadn't been consoling her, I might have actually beaten my brother to a pulp. After she calmed down and went to sleep, I called my sister. We're very close, like Irish twins. I thought she needed to know because she has 2 teenage daughters herself, and who knows what my brother might do if given the chance. She was furious. She loves my wife like a sister, and they're quite close. She said she'd support whatever decision we made, and that our brother would not be welcome at her place either for the foreseeable future. Then we confronted my brother. At first, he denied it, but when I showed him the evidence, he broke down crying and begged for forgiveness. I gave him an ultimatum: either let me into his phone and laptop and delete everything, or I call the police. There was way more stuff on his computer than I initially thought. So many more stolen pictures of my wife, clearly taken without consent. He even recorded the audio of us having sex. Who could do such a thing? After hours of me searching for her and deleting as much as possible, practically clearing most of his hard drive, he finally left without much resistance. And of course, we threw out my wife's soiled underwear and are probably going to have the room he stayed in professionally cleaned. I checked, and thankfully, he didn't have any hidden cameras. And if you're wondering how he got pictures of my wife in a towel, it's because the master bathroom shower didn't have hot water yet, so she used the shared one. She usually walked out in a towel and went to change in our walk-in closet. The guest bedroom was in a different part of the house, far from the main bedrooms, and had its own bathroom, so he had no reason to be there. My wife is still shaken up, which is why I didn't think about writing an update until now. Her well-being is my top priority. Eventually, my mom called, clearly confused. I figured my brother hadn't told her anything. I told her what happened, and it didn't go well. She kept asking me to forgive him and take him back. She ranted about how hard it would be to support him and how my actions were breaking the family apart. I let her talk until I finally said he was no longer welcome in our home. I told her she needed to get him therapy and that until then, we wouldn't see him. She said she talked to my sister, and I said, good luck. She's mad at him too. I don't know what will happen to our family now. We got this big house, so everyone could come over during the holidays, but I'm not sure if my parents will now, and there's no way my brother is coming back anytime soon. Thankfully, my sister is completely on my side, and we're going to talk about Thanksgiving plans soon. My wife isn't the same yet, but she's getting better now that my brother is gone. We're considering therapy, and she's willing to try. We took a drive to the beach earlier. Don't worry, we didn't leave the car, and talked about the future. We both agreed that after this whole COVID thing is over, we'll start our family with 2 kids. She's always wanted to be a mom, and we wanted to be financially stable enough to give them a good life and have more time with them. The hope in her eyes when we talked about our future with kids made me believe that although things are tough now, we'll be okay. I really can't wait to be a dad. So, in short, my brother is gone, my wife is still sad, my sister is on my side, but my mom isn't, and I'll be a dad in a few years.